Latino Kirk goes and invites us into his Mercedes. We're many fans, and we're ladies with many fans, not the shady ones. We ride along beside him in his luxurious carpet. We're the lady mini fans, watch our content on demand. We're the only women in this miniverse, for better or worse.
Hello.
So I was DMing this week with a parody account called Mrs. Latino Kirk, which was the face of Kirk Minahan with the drawn-on black mustache and crazy red hair. And I said, there's a 50% chance this is actually the person they're claiming to be.
I have to be honest, when she first came on and started posting this, I actually messaged Latino Kirk and I said, I have to ask. I said, real, not real, how do I act? And he's like,
I
no.
hope he said real.
He did.
Okay.
Of course, in the world we all play in, I
Totally get
went
it.
back and I said, can I trust you?
They called back, so it all worked out.
Yes.
But here she is very, very exciting. So
It is.
yes, obviously we have a lot of questions to ask you, but first I have a few shout outs to do, so bear with me.
Go for it.
Matt and his wife who did a song, we mentioned it last week, but it was finally ready. So thank you guys very much for the song. We appreciate that. And I just have to say to Harlan Ackerson parody account, who, I mean, I was so touched by his gesture to step aside for the bracket. It's giving me some anxiety of having a second loss in a row. I'm not gonna lie, because Redline Callahan is actually a friend of mine and a great guy. But I just wanted to say thank you to him as well. Brandy, you advanced in the bracket.
For now, we can lose together in the second round if you already think you're going to lose, because there is no way I'm beating Kevin from Bristol. And I am definitely
You
okay.
never know. Hey, after that water's done, I'm rooting for you.
Do you have to hear about it at home a lot, Mrs. LK?
Oh, yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. And plus, Will was here because they just got back from Panora. So it was just like a day and a half of
obsession.
I will add, I know we'll get to it, but I'm completely overwhelmed by all this Miniverse stuff because I'm relatively new to it. I'm just like, what, a bracket? What is that? And all the parody accounts, I can't keep track.
No, it's a lot.
Even being in it for a few months now, I still find trying to keep up with just the Twitter threads sometimes. I spend hours at night, lifetime on the TV while I'm scrolling back through because you just can't keep up.
So I was going to ask you, ladies, how do you manage? Like, I have no idea what's going on in the world, and I only have I think I only follow 60 people. Help.
Yeah, you just prioritize what you can kind of pass over, and what you're just like, I have to get into whatever this subject is, because otherwise it's too consuming.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of
comments I don't even understand.
No, and that's when you just go, okay, well, this isn't my part yet, and it all comes together eventually, I promise. Well, what am I saying? We're always lost. If people are fighting, it's because it's normal. So embrace it. So I also wanted to give a shout out to BA, who did the nicest video for me, because I had asked for it beforehand, and he promised, he delivered, and I can't lie, I was a little bit smitten by that. So thank you very much. Actually, all those Mincel guys have been really, really nice to me and really fun, and I have zero problem with any of them.
They've been great, and the talent they have. Oh my goodness. And they're super sweet. They're just wonderful. And I did donate to the GoFundMe that they had set up, and they actually took the time to reply back to me. I actually got an email kind of thank
Wow.
you. So
Oh,
it's
nice.
great. They are an amazing group, and I don't
Yeah.
have any issues with them either.
Nope, I agree with Kirk a little bit because sometimes I'm like, ooh, I'm a little old for whatever they're speaking of, but that's okay. You know, like I said, I don't have to feel the need to bark at them about it. I just move on. Have you been listening to any of the extra YouTube stuff, Miss LK?
I watched a couple of the Go for Geary.
Okay, yeah.
They were interesting. I watched a little bit of the Robinson Report. I watched a little bit of the Mincel guys yesterday or the day before, I think it was. But it's so much to keep track of.
Right.
It
You're
is.
still catching up on the show, so
I'm in
you're like
July
one thing at a time.
2019. Yeah, I got a long way to go.
No, that's fair enough. So I wanted to give one more shout out, and that's to DEC, because if anyone watched Steve and TJ's show yesterday, he gets so much shit. He gets dragged. He takes it very well. So congratulations to him. I admire it because I don't know if I could deal with that much even playful teasing.
He's a great person for it, and he's also another one that's very good at what he does with his show. And I have to admit, even though I've been doing this show on YouTube for a few weeks now, I'm going on with DEC tonight, as he had put out on Twitter.
Oh, cool.
I'm a little nervous going on with DEC.
Yeah. He won't bite you. He won't bite you.
But I do also have to give a shout out because I did buy some dog biscuits for the dog, and they came in
Yes.
today, and she enjoys them. So
Oh,
make
good.
sure to support him there as well.
Yes, yes. So Stephen TJ's show, this brings me to another thing. We had some very last minute drama happen on Twitter. A comment was made on the show today about us changing up the lineup on Miniladies. It's true. I actually do have, there are people very interested in coming on, and I think 3 people is best. So I had sent out a message saying, we're going to try to rotate everybody in. I'm not sure where things got misconstrued, but apparently Steve Robinson thought there was drama about that. There wasn't. And I don't really have a problem, other than it just seemed to be escalated by DD a little bit for me. He came out on Twitter. He said, "Look, it was a mistake, and she's posting his DMs in Discord." And I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. Did you see any of this, Brandy?
I actually, to be honest, I don't go into Discord a lot. This was a discussion on Twitter previously. I pop in from time to time, but it seems like every time I pop in, I see sort of the same thing you're talking about, a little drama more than on Twitter. And it's just not a world for me. I prefer to be on Twitter. I'm okay with, if somebody has an issue with me coming to me, DM me on Twitter, but the Discord thing, I don't pop into it. I did see the things on Twitter that were posted, but I don't go into the Discord for that reason.
Yeah. And even Twitter, I felt like it was a lot. Like, apparently Steve and TJ made a joke on their show, and she was at them all morning like, is this about me? And I have a problem with this, and we can't start getting sensitive because that's where the issues begin. Like I said, DEC gets shit all day long. You don't see that. I'm going to steal a line from Kirk here, but like, if that joke is made about a guy, is this happening? I don't know. I hope she realizes, like, we're all having fun. It's okay. You got to relax. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I thought I saw a post from Dee on Twitter just maybe an hour ago, and it sounded like she was all good.
Back in good spirits.
That was my impression, but again, I'm still getting to know this whole universe.
It got a little defensive for my liking. Like, I made one comment after the show said something like, look, we're doing the best that we can. I'm trying to please everyone, and apparently I just can't. So, oh well. Sorry.
I think I made the comment to Lauren, and I'm not afraid to say it publicly after I, also heard the end of the show, but didn't see any of the Twitter stuff, so I didn't know where it was going. I was still under the impression of Steve's statements. I made the comment to Lauren that, when Mike does Mike and the Minifans, he found that him and Matt had a good kind of bond, and they worked well together with the two of them and one or two rotating guests. And I feel like nobody has an issue with that. So if the issue is Lauren and I with one or two rotating guests, I guess that's where I kind of get bothered, because again, you're treating females different than males in the world. And I think we've made it very clear that we don't want to be treated differently, because we're all fans. And, like I said, Mike and Matt have that bond. They rotate their guests. And if there's an issue, definitely come to me. I don't bite. I don't mind hearing it. I would hate for the lady show to be treated differently more so than Mike's show, just because, yes, the topics are different, but the aspect is still the same. So.
Absolutely. That's a good point. Sharing the DM she had with him, he already apologized. He said it was a mistake. It's time to move on. And I really don't want to hear anything about what we're saying now. Like, enough. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. There's a time to, just end it, drop it, move on, walk away.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. So into like the main event of what we were doing tonight, Miss LK. Yes. If I understand this correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, your husband got a last minute ticket to Madawaska, correct?
He did.
Okay, yes.
So just to back up from there. So when
go ahead.
About, what was it, like November, I think the show started kind of making these plans. He texted me and he's like, hey, do you mind if I go ice fishing for a weekend in February? And I'm going, like, thinking, is this my husband? Like, remember, he's Latino. He is born from a temperate climate. He hates living in Boston because of the climate. And he wants to go ice fishing in Maine in February. Like, I was just like, does not compute, And then finally that we started talking, oh, it's a show. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever, go have fun. And then I guess he started looking into it, and I don't know, he wasn't really in the circles, I guess. He's probably gonna kill me for saying that. So he didn't really know, like he wasn't prepared to like get a hotel and all that sort of stuff. So it kind of died down. And then I don't know, I think he got talking to Will. I think he did Mike and the Minifans and started talking to Will, and was like, hey, we've got some extra tickets. And then it all came together. And I have to tell you, I don't know if he's ever said this, but it was life-changing for him. Like, just to go
he
there.
He has said that, yes.
It really, and I will tell you, honestly, it was. That's not bullshit. Like, we all go through our ups and downs, and he was in a bit of a funk right before that. And when he went, like, he was on a high when he came back, just like the community, like everybody, getting to know each other, and like, oh yeah, I know you from Twitter. I know you, I've heard you on the show. And like, he has been on a high ever since Madawaska. So it's been huge for him.
Now, but what is it like for you? I have to know, like, how do you respond? Like, are you just like, what are you getting into? Or are you just like, hey, you're happy and you're out of the house, so this is great?
It's a little bit of that too. There's a little bit of like, okay, dude, put down your phone, like we're time. But he's receptive, it's all about balance. But yeah, sometimes it's weird. Like when the first show that I listened to was that one in December, that like best of. The one that, yeah, that one. I know, right? And the whole time, like, so that one, I mean, I love Steve, but the clips just, there was no context.
The flow was a little off.
And so like my husband had to keep pausing and like give me the whole backstory, and I'm just like, by the end of what was like 6 hours, I don't even remember what, it was all a blur. I was just like, it's all these names and these parody names, and I was like, oh, my head was spinning. But it gave me a taste of like what he was part of, or getting to be part of. Sure. And then after Madawaska, the stories, the pictures, I saw the video, that was just like, wow, it's huge. And so I respect that. I'm glad that he's found like, a place with people that are like-minded, and he and I are similar personalities and similar like styles. So I started to dabble into it, and here I am.
Excellent. So we're gonna. I don't care if people say, "Well, this was a month ago," and who cares? We're gonna talk about it.
It needs to be
Madawaska.
discussed at the party.
I'm sure you guys know where I'm going here. Did the story come out to you when it was revealed on the Miniladies show, or was that told to you beforehand?
So he told me, he didn't tell me right after Madawaska, because honestly, it was a nothing thing.
Yes.
He told me probably like a week or two later. I guess there was like some drama building up, and I can't remember exactly the whole thing. And he told me the story. He's like, yeah, you know, my jacket was on a chair. She thought I was checking her out. Her husband said, I was like, whatever, like, you know. And then it came up on the Miniladies, and that's when I was like, you fucking kidding me? Like, that's it. Go onto Twitter, create an account, like, you know.
Yeah, you came in hot. I like it.
I was pissed. And then, I mean, obviously all the stuff with Kirk went down. I was like, okay, yeah, puts it in perspective. This is insignificant. And
not a big deal.
Yeah. Now I can settle down and just, you know, find my way in this universe.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think other people have kind of crashed and burned themselves out. So you can just kind of sit back and laugh about that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm on the Ladies this week.
There you go. Oh, that's funny. So, well, I'm glad to hear that. I love the idea of the couple. I really do. I'm kind of jealous about it, to be honest.
I know. I think it's adorable. It's like, can I get my dog into the Minifan show?
Right? You should be the Bachelorette, Brandy.
I know. I should do a Minifan Bachelorette.
There you go.
You know, maybe that will be next. That will be the next YouTube show.
The next show. Okay, I'll host it. I don't have a problem with that. Oh, so obviously that story, I mean, the worst part of it to me was just the name drop. I found that very unnecessary.
Yeah. It was petty. It was childish.
Yeah, and like, since when do people get upset over looking? I've never really heard of that before. So
I think,
go ahead, Brandy.
I think the thing that bothered me the most about it is I really got to know Latino Kirk and Madawaska, and I think he is great. He couldn't be more of a gentleman in my mind. And so it really bothered me that not only did she bring that up publicly, but she brought that up weeks after the event. Like, it's not like she went on Twitter and said anything or anything of that nature. Like, she brought it up weeks later. And to me, that just screams somebody who's just looking for attention, and that just what she was able to pull. And that really kind of, and it baffled me to the point that I didn't even have time to respond on the show, that I actually reached out to LK after the show and I said, look, I just want you to know, when you watch tomorrow's show, I don't agree with this. I'm sorry I didn't say anything during the show, but I was so taken aback by it that I didn't have time to respond, because I know a completely different person in him just from meeting him in Madawaska. So
yeah, and he warned me too. He's like, hey, you got to know, you know, she's going to say something. And that's, I mean, I was watching you ladies anyway, but you know, but to hear it, I was just like, where the fuck does she, like you said, it's been weeks. Why does it's so insignificant? And yeah,
and that was part of the reason. After she mentioned it, I said, I kind of don't want to even give this the attention and put him in the hot seat any more than that already was. So we're going to move on. Maybe, you know, we could have been like, well, what are you talking about? Who cares if so? Even if he says he wasn't, I am not here to make any, I don't care, really, to be honest.
He's my husband. Even if he was checking her out, who gives a fuck? You know what? Lauren, I can't get my eyes off of your cleavage right now. You know what?
Okay.
I respect that. Like, like who cares?
No, it's gravity. Gravity is just not my friend.
We're the same, though. I was like, you know, it's not like she made comments to her that were derogatory. It's not like he tried to feel her up. It's I mean, tell me you don't walk into a grocery store and see some cute stock boy and start looking at his ass. I mean, come on.
And I was watching I think, was it Mike's show the other night, and MHB was on it, and I turned to my husband like, dude, why didn't you tell me MHB was so hot? You know? Whatever, like, there's no threat. Yeah.
Well, there you go. We all have our. we should have a like some sort of diagram of who's looking at who and all this
We should
because
get our own bracket.
I made a note. I'm a BA girl. That's all right.
Start ranking the male Minifans.
Yes, yes.
Oh man. Okay. Well. So you would consider yourself though now like you're all in.
I am. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm still playing a little catch up, but I'm all in. Yeah, I'm listening on a daily basis between the new stuff and the old stuff, and
Oh
you know,
wow.
thankfully I have my husband to fill in all the gaps and catch me up. But yeah, it's
Now,
fascinating.
did you have Will at your house? Am I remembering that too?
Yep, yep. So Will has slept at my house.
I was
Um,
just
He
gonna
slept at your house?
yeah. So before they left for Panora, they.
Oh,
I
dang.
don't remember. I think he said it on some. Oh, it was on Go for Geary. I think they called in. Their flight. They left here like 3 a.m. on Friday, so he had to come out Thursday night, and he spent the night. But he's such a sweet guy. You know, he's very respectful.
I was kind of curious, you know, how you felt having like, you know, a part-time temporary child.
Yeah, yeah, he's good. He makes himself at home, but I respect that. You know, it's all good.
Oh,
It's just so funny. I just try to picture the conversation between you two. Like, it's like, okay, here's what's happening. He was gone for like 4 days, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And you guys have children?
yeah.
And he's just like, I'm taking off?
Yeah, no,
I'm
it's all good.
fascinated by this. I really am.
For work, my husband and I, we both travel quite a bit, so we're used
Oh, okay.
to like either one of us being
Oh.
gone for a few days, and so we've
Oh.
got a whole routine, and it all works. So it wasn't too crazy. I mean, it was a little crazy when I'm looking at Facebook, going, "That son of a bitch, he's out there like having a ball with intern Will," and I'm, you know, but it's all good. You know, I can go do a girls' weekend on my own, or you know, go on my own, whatever, and he respects that. It's all good.
We should take a trip.
Yeah,
I'm in for the trip. I don't even care where I'll go. One town over if it means, you know, quiet.
I don't know if anybody has ever been to Nashville, but
I would love to go.
oh, you want some
No, I haven't.
nightlife with some karaoke and some drinks, and
Let's
I've
do it.
been 2 or 3 times now, and it is my all-time favorite.
Really? Oh
Yes.
wow.
Yes,
Oh,
the
I don't get out much,
before.
so maybe we'll have to put that on the calendar.
If
So
you're looking for just Massachusetts, I do have connections to a beach house in Situate, so out on Hummerock. So you know,
I don't know where any of that is, but it sounds
South
like
Shore.
something I would enjoy.
Lauren, you're in Massachusetts, aren't you, Lauren?
I'm in Maine.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
All right,
So
or we can start with a night out in Boston, for that matter.
Yeah. That. Hey. Any
Are you
night-
going to the Wilbur?
I'm going to both shows.
You're going to
I'm
both
I'm
shows.
all in. I'm all
There
in.
you go. I guess.
But I did
Oh,
want to
that's-
ask, what are you guys? Are you both going?
Yes.
Yes.
What are you wearing? I mean, you know, Kirk keeps pitching, you know, dressing up, and I'm like, well, a suit okay for the guys, but are we going formal? Are we going cocktail? Like, what have you thought about this yet? I'm stressing.
Oh, I've had my dress for months.
Oh,
I have picked out a dress as well. I ordered it, but I'm hoping with the weight loss challenge, I can maybe return it and order a smaller size.
There you go.
like it.
I went kind of, I don't know, it's like a shimmery reddish black color, and it's but the sleeves on mine are like long sleeves that they're like cut out. It's kind of fancy, but it's not like cocktail party fancy. So
Okay.
My dress
Alright.
is fancy, and I need to get some like double-sided tape to make sure it stays into place. So that's all I'm gonna say. I never go out, so
We're
I'm
not
going all
complaining,
out.
Lauren. We are not complaining.
So okay, I had one more thing, and I completely forgot. It kind of tied into more my earlier list from Steve and TJ's show. So Brandy, did you get a message saying, "Can you please send me a picture"?
yes. So
Because I did. I got a message. I was, you know, full transparency.
Steve was very open. He asked me for one. And it's one of those things that I've said it before, you know, I do suffer from like depression and anxiety. But when it comes to being a confident female, it's one of those things that I've kind of taught myself that you just got to be confident. You got to go with it. And he asked, and I said, sure, why not? I have nothing to hide. I'm not a shy person for the most part. And he was very respectful about it as well. I know he's gotten some stuff about, taking it off of social media and that sort of thing, but I wanted
really?
known that he was very respectable about it. He asked me and he made it very clear if I was uncomfortable to just let him know. He, let me pick the picture so that it was one that I was comfortable with. So, I mean, he was very respectful with it as well. So
there was no Photoshop. That was all you?
that was all me.
It was hot. It was good.
Yeah, thank you.
My husband said to me tonight, he's like, if you have the opportunity, find out from Brandy if that was Photoshop.
No, it was not. I will be the first to admit that aside from mental illness that I have,
good for you.
one thing I do enjoy is I am the first one when there's a camera to be in front of it. I think Will got a very candid shot of me in Madawaska actually, because he picked up the camera and I was ready. So that's one thing I'm not shy when it comes to is photos. So.
Oh, yeah, because I saw the speculation of the Photoshop, and I mean, I know nothing about Photoshop, but the experts will zoom in on the pixels here and the this and that. I'm like, I don't know anything about that.
I have done some Photoshop and some videos and stuff, so I wasn't surprised that people thought maybe it was something I had done, but nope, it was full disclosure. And actually, I'm sure people have said, where's the necklace? I'm actually wearing the necklace tonight for anybody that didn't believe that it was real.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, it was no Photoshop at all.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, it's funny because I got the message to do a picture and I'm like, well, I like this picture with my daughter. And he's like, yeah, we're not really looking for something like that. Okay, yes, we're not. No, we're not looking to do that. I have barely any pictures of myself. I'm the exact opposite. I'm extremely camera shy. So, but even if that were Photoshop, I that's funny because the Mincel Intel guys, I've already requested the next gift. I said, can you please put my head on Natalie Portman's body? So I mean, we all can dare to dream, right? I ask these guys for a lot of things now that I think about it. Sorry guys, I'll leave you alone.
I would ask them for more, but I've learned that if a picture goes out of me, TJ Hubbard is usually pretty quick to put me in many videos, so I just leave it to him. I let him.
Yeah, TJ or Fez or
yes.
there's one more who's very, very good at it, and I apologize, I'm forgetting your name. Oh,
there's
terrible.
a few of them, so
Sorry about that.
If someone put like $10,000 on a table right now and was like, create one of these gifts, I'd be like, I can't. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry. I don't. You have to.
I will admit I could probably do it, but I have to be honest, I'm not sure if I could do it with as quick of a turnaround as some of these guys, because that's the part that impresses me is their turnaround is amazing.
Well, I've seen TJ has like this entire template of just floating heads. So those are at the ready. And it's very funny to see in that form, like he's ready to go. So credit to him. That's what makes him great.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, we're just having fun with everything. So and we have a new member, so this is very exciting. Are you in the ladies chat?
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm thinking I've
I'm
neglected
out,
to
but,
add you. Okay, yep, we're gonna put you in there for sure. So a little getting to know people, that is fun. And I heard it sounds like the show's back to full time on Monday.
I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
Yes.
I didn't finish today's episode yet. They announced it today?
Yes, they announced it today.
I mean, it's kind of left as a most likely, so I think it's fair enough. If we take what we can get, right? And
absolutely.
it's all just very understanding of the situation.
Can we comment on today's show?
Go for it. Yes, of course.
Flew. I was laughing my ass off. I thought that was a freaking riot. And I have to say, I love how refreshing Kirk's perspective is on this whole coronavirus thing. Like the way social media is and people at work and like it was so refreshing to just hear somebody like in the public, so to speak, just being like, what the fuck? Come on now.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Brandy.
it's definitely been blown out of proportion. I work with a woman who has children, and they're supposed to go on something that the main schools do is called a heritage tour, and they take a group of kids to like DC and New York and make it educational, and they've actually canceled all of those. So I was like, oh, people paid all this money to send their kids on this tour, and now they're not even going.
Right.
It just it seems so ridiculous to me. I'm still walking around with whatever. Like, if I can't buy hand sanitizer, I don't care.
Yeah, but why is everybody talking about toilet paper? I don't understand that one.
I work with the same thing. She goes, when I go grocery shopping, I can buy all the food I want. She goes, what are these people going to do? Start eating their toilet paper?
Yeah, right.
Tiger.
People just get
Telling you,
annoyed.
I've got a little unopened thing of hand sanitizer, and I'm ready to get on the black market with that and make some money because
Good money on that. Yeah.
I haven't been sick in I think like 30 months, so I've zero fear of the coronavirus. I fear no germs. Bring them on.
Yeah, I am the same way. People are talking about it, I'm like, okay, yep, nope, not buying it.
Yeah.
Although
In Massachusetts, there's one confirmed case. One. Like,
we
and the mayhem has begun.
So I'm even less worried.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Although I do think the licking challenge is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's I'd have to pocket some of that money. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
I don't know that I want to put Mike through that. Like, it's like, do I want to donate to make him?
Mike, being my guy,
you gotta stand up for him here, Brandy. How are you gonna do that?
I am all for donating, but I think I might have to donate to this charity on my own because I hate the thought of Mike having to lick random objects or even be sent to Seattle. Nope. If Mike's anything, send him to Maine. We're good.
Oh boy. Well, I think I think again we're gonna end on just a very personal note. So it was wonderful to have you on, Mrs. LK. You're gonna come back sometime, right?
Yes. Anytime you want me, I would love to come back.
I was very excited.
Yes, you are a delight. Okay, girls, have a good night.
Ladies.
You.
Bye.